Afternoon. I signed up to speak separately on two bills because I've brought testimony from an organization and personal. Shall I do them both now or just?
We're doing everything together.
Everything together.
Yes.
Great. Okay. Thank you. My name is Sharon Fellows. I reside in Peterborough, and I am speaking right now on behalf of Women's Declaration International, a global nonpartisan group of volunteer women dedicated to protecting women's sex-based rights. We are strongly in support of Bills 1217, 1299, and 1447. Our interest in these bills is based upon Article 1 of the Declaration on Women's Sex-Based Rights, reaffirming that the rights of women are based on the category of sex. Sex referring to reproductive biology, whereas the stereotyped sex roles of masculinity and femininity, generally enforced on both sexes and referred to as gender, are a fundamental aspect of women's inequality and must be eliminated. The Declaration provides states should maintain the centrality of the category of sex and not gender identity in relation to women's and girls' rights to be free from discrimination. It does this because women and girls face discrimination based on our biology as females, and we are unable to identify our way out of sex-based discrimination. There is therefore a conflict between gender identity and sex in policy. Gender identity is nothing more than regressive sex role stereotypes, which are materially harmful to women and girls and should not be codified in law. WDI USA fully supports the protection of equal rights for all people who do not conform to sex role stereotypes. We have proposed federal legislation providing comprehensive civil rights protection for women and girls on the basis of sex, for lesbians, gays, and bisexual individuals based on sexual orientation, which is based on sex, and for everyone on the basis of nonconformity with sex role stereotypes. It does not provide additional protection based on subjective feelings. It is the physical circumstance of being female that requires protection from sex discrimination. Because HB 1217 would define sex and related terms in a way that is overall consistent with the Declaration, WDI USA urges you to pass it.
Very much. Questions? Do you have testimony? Okay.
Personal testimony as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm speaking now as a parent and a taxpayer in the Conval School District, which is currently under investigation by the Department of Education for Title IX violations of female students' rights. In a manner typical of public schools all over the country for the past several years, Conval administration gave male students explicit permission to use restrooms and locker rooms designated for girls. When female students objected, the principal at CVHS instructed the girls to change elsewhere because it would constitute discrimination to remove the boys from their locker room. Further, because Conval's district policies classify accurate sex identification as discrimination, students are not even allowed to talk about these violations. They've been told it's hateful to know that a boy is a boy and that it is a crime to say so. Governor Ayotte has vetoed these bills twice already, each time with the excuse that the issue is complex and that policy decisions are best left to individual schools. It's interesting that these concerns about complexity didn't come up when the General Court voted to abolish girls' and women's single-sex spaces in the first place. The adults in this room, along with those sitting on our school boards, simply decided to enforce a violation in spaces reserved for girls' use. Governor Ayotte is mistaken. Policy decisions are not best left to individual school boards, as we can see that all over the state and the nation, school boards continue to enact and enforce these policies despite overwhelming public opposition. Girls and young women have a reasonable expectation of privacy in places where they undress and tend to their physical needs. So do boys and young men, by the way. All students have the right to speak freely about the material reality of sex in human beings, and taxpayers have a right not to have our hard-earned funds used to infringe on half the population's rights, to peddle the metaphysical belief in gender identity as settled science in an instructional setting, or to shame and punish our young citizens into silence when they speak up to defend their rights. These bills are New Hampshire's answer to egregious violations of students' rights under Title IX and of our most fundamental constitutionally guaranteed rights to free expression, freedom from state-mandated religion, and freedom to redress grievances. I urge you to vote yes on restoring equal rights and free speech in the Granite State.
Thank you very much for your testimony. We're all set. Thank you very much.
Thank you.